Hi, welcome back to the restaurant show. I am here today with Dave, winemaker and owner at Drumlin Ridge Winery. Thanks for having us with you today.
Thank you for coming out, Jessica. Appreciate it.
So what a fun time we've been having. Now we've done several tastings and this is a great spot to come try some wine. You have some tasting flights, also some great little plates. So today we're going to actually do what's the classic tasting.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got my little sheet here. This normally, there's 6 tastings, or 6 wines on the classic, but you've picked out 3 of your favorites.
Yes, I have. So on the classic tasting, we have 6 1-ounce pours. We have, every month our tastings change up. So this month we have 3 white wines that are dry, 2 red wines that are dry, and we finish it with a sweet white symphony.
Oh, a
So
symphony,
we're going to be
okay.
tasting 3. We've chosen 2 of the whites and 1 red for this.
Okay.
So we will start out with our 1 white.
All right. Now you typically go the lightest into the heaviest, right, on a tasting
Typically,
plate?
yes.
Okay.
Yep. And dry to sweet.
Driest to sweetest. Okay, I gotcha.
Yep. So our Wana white, named Wana for Wanakee.
Cute. Yeah, and if you haven't been out here, we're just a short drive from Madison, about 10 minutes north of Madison. So a great spot to just get out of the city for a minute and have some wine, a great location. Okay.
So the Wana White's a blend of 4 different varietals. We
Okay.
have Chardonnay, Viognier, Pinot Gris, and Symphony, all fermented separate, all fermented stainless tanks, and then fermented dry, blended after the ferment.
So Dave has been teaching me proper wine swirling, and you can test my knowledge here and see if I get it right. You can call me out on TV, it's okay.
Very
How's
nice.
my swirl?
Very nice. You can smell the aromatics coming out
Okay.
of the glass.
All right, we'll give this one a try. Very good, the Wana White.
Thank you.
So one of the things they do here too is talk a little bit about food pairings, which I think is smart. And it's also a class that you've been having here, a little 101. But what do you think is a good pairing for Wana White?
So with Wana White, it's on the lighter side. We like to pair it with maybe the hummus, the olives. We have pita chips. We use the Bonzo hummus.
Bonzo has great hummus.
Yes.
I love that you get some of your items from local locations here. That's great.
Yes, we try to locally source a lot of our different foods.
Yeah, keep it local. That's
Yes.
wonderful. Okay, so as we move through the tasting, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to move on to. You have another white planned for us here.
I'd like to actually go to the Sangiovese,
Oh, okay.
which is our dry red.
You're confusing me. Okay, we go white, red, white. Okay.
So we will go to the Sangiovese. Sangiovese I sourced out of the Borden Ranch AVA, which is out in the Northern California area in the Lodi AVA. So AVAs are where a lot of the grapes are grown, and then the AVA is a designated area.
So why do we go from a white to a red and then back to a white? What is?
We're going to finish
it?
with a sweet white.
Okay, so
we
the
wanna
last
stay
white's going
dry
to be
and go
really sweet.
Yes.
All right, here we go. And this-
Sangiovese is an Italian grape, red grape.
Sangiovese, is that how you pronounce that?
Yes.
Okay.
Little spice to it, dark cherry notes.
Really good. They're all good. How do people pick their favorites? What do you think it is that draws people to a certain wine?
Everyone has their preference if they want a dry white or a sweet white, dry red, fuller bodied red. Everyone has a preference.
Now with this particular red, let's talk a little bit about food pairing and what you would think would be a good plate.
Again, it goes well with the olives. It'll go well with darker meats or sauces. A spicy sauce goes great with Sangiovese, a tomato sauce.
Wonderful. A great spot to come and sit, and we're going to move on to the next wine here in just a minute. But for viewers at home, this is something that has sort of been in the works for you for a long time. So in case you haven't heard a little bit of the backstory, I want to share that with you now. So tell us how this came to be for you.
Yes, in 1991, I was actually pressing my apples. We have an apple orchard on the property, making apple juice, and a family friend came out and suggested I start making wine from our apple juice. So he started all of that.
Wow, well, who is this guy? We need to thank him.
Yes,
This is
yes.
wonderful. Okay, so let's move on to the sweeter white now.
Yes.
I love the name Symphony, it's
So
beautiful.
Symphony is actually a grape developed out at UC Davis, California by a professor in the late 40s. It's the name of the grape, United States grape, California. Grown commercially in the San Joaquin Valley since about the 80s.
Wow.
So
okay.
we did a stainless ferment. We stopped the ferment at about 1% residual sugar, keeping some sweetness to it.
Okay. So now when you get to this sort of the end of the tasting and you're on to something sweet, what would be, if someone's going through this tasting, What do you usually recommend as far as plates are concerned when you're kind of covering a
Yes.
wide variety of wines?
Normally we look for something a little sweeter. So we brought out our cheesecake. For our cheesecake, we have taken our port wine and reduced it into a sauce.
This is nice and sweet. I do like that.
So the cheesecake and the port wine sauce
Look at
pairs
this.
very well with the sweeter wine.
Yeah, you bet. So that's a great idea. You can kind of start with a plate, something a little bit more savory, and then you get to your
Yes.
sweet wine at the end. You're ready for dessert. I think
Yes.
that's a great plan. I like it. Now let's talk a little bit about this space too. So you can have a guest come and do a flight or just come and have a glass of wine, but you also do a little bit of some events here as well.
We do offer space here where we can have small weddings, small meetings. We can have outdoor events. We've had bridal showers, bachelorette parties. So open for a lot of different events.
And you have some other food that's available then if you're doing some events like that.
We do. We have a larger events plate menu. We still offer mostly cold plates, but we also allow caterers to bring in foods for the different events.
Wonderful. So we've got a little under a minute left before we go. So this is the big question, the hard-hitting journalism. What is your favorite wine?
So in 1998, I tasted a fantastic Syrah red blend that really turned me on to dry, full-bodied Syrahs. And so ever since then, I've really been a lover of our full-bodied Syrah and our Pinot Noirs that have aged in newer oak. I like the heavier oak notes in a wine and a red wine.
Wonderful. So if you ask for Dave's recommendation, that's what it's going to be.
Yes.
Well, thank you for sharing all of this with us. This has been so fun and so educational for me. A great spot if you want to just come enjoy a glass of wine, a little bit of food with friend, or what a beautiful spot to have a small event. So thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you for coming out.
We thank you for watching. We've got more Restaurant Show coming up after the break.